Hey everybody, welcome back. I am officially on my way back to work. You know, sometimes we go down the road and life travels fast. The devil wants us to always feel like we're going faster and faster and faster. You know, you run into people sometimes that I believe they try to question you a little bit just to try to prove something wrong with whatever you're speaking. You never have to worry about it if you're telling the truth and you're telling it the way God has given it. You never have to worry about the words you speak if it always matches up with the Bible. Because they can't prove the Bible wrong. They never have. They never will. The very things that are spoken, well, it's up to them to decide. Because in reality is, there's so many people out there that want to disbelieve because they don't want to believe where they're going to end up. There's so many people out there that are claiming just, I'm good, once saved, always saved. I'm going into the right direction because I am doing good deeds, good works. I'm doing good by people. Well, good deeds, good works is great. It gets you rewards if you're following God's ways. But let's face it. You can repent of many different things. But you can't repent and make it to heaven if you blaspheme against the Holy Spirit. Basically, if you blaspheme the Holy Spirit, people, you're not going to heaven. Which is not following Christ, going against God, disbelief. How many of you laid hands on people, you churchgoers, laid hands on people and you stand up there and you do this big hoorah and it's nothing? Because the people that are usually doing it are in disbelief. You haven't seen God's miracles because you're not looking for them. Jesus said it himself. Even if I did, you wouldn't believe me. Isn't that something? I think about the Bible and I think about what the disciples witnessed, and they didn't. They still needed proof. I don't know. If I seen somebody doing all the things they're doing, I would tend to believe. But yet Jesus said what? How much more blessed are those who believe but yet have not seen me? That's us. Now, am I perfect? By far, no. Do I try to be? Yes. Do I ask Jesus every day to protect me? Keep my thoughts, keep my mouth, keep my tongue? Yes. Does it always work? No, because it's got that thing called free will, even if I surrender it. I hear the Spirit speaking to me, but yet that little piece of me still comes back and goes, not today. See, it's amazing how you sit and think about life. And I think about daily what God has removed from my life. At first I was back and forth with it. Now I'm at total peace. Because the longer people stay out of my life, it's funny how I don't even recall them sometimes. I mean, if I run across a picture or somebody says a name that triggers that person's name, then I go to in that remembrance. But the most amazing thing about it all is each step you take, it's what pathway are you going down? Now you look at this eclipse that just happened, a total eclipse. even talking about that, people are in shock because you have seen it before. Well, you think about it. I mean, I spoke about it on the video. The last time it was done, Donald Trump was in office. We're coming up on 2024, which we're in now. Donald Trump's running for president again. So what does that tell you? We are a repeat of repeat. We haven't got it right. But that's okay. Now, people are saying they've seen an object flying through the center of it. Okay, people, we also seen a plane fly into the towers. A plane. Didn't fly into the towers, fly in between the towers. Because people said it was a fighter jet. A fighter jet. Now, that's all I'm going on that nonsense, because I'm really tired of the hate mail and all the stuff on that. You believe what you want to believe. If you think this government has clean hands, let's just investigate the whole entire Congress. You know, I've never seen a bunch more people that don't pay taxes and don't do the right things, but expect us to. The IRS was made by man. The IRS needs to be disbanded, if you ask me, because we're paying entirely too many taxes. Look at all these people that were grandfathered in way back when the settlers came in and sectioned off huge amount of property. I wonder if them people are paying taxes on their property. I'm just curious. I would bet not, because they're probably grandfathered in to that property, and how they're going to come and make them pay property tax on something that was from the ancestors all the way back. Slim Part says no. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know much about that nonsense. But all I know is our utilities keep going up. They keep telling we got a different provider, but it's the same company that we've always had. They just keep changing names on us so they can charge us. So if you, and our property taxes keep going up. People, do you ever really own a house? You got to keep paying on taxes on a property that you paid all these years just to own? When do you ever own it? Never. You can't. What are you going to do? Move the house somewhere where you got to pay property tax somewhere else? It's crazy. So it's like, the only difference is you're going to pay, if you win once you get it paid off, it's going to be a cheaper amount. Now, I'm not on a rampage about all this. I'm just saying you have to understand the government is not our friend. The government will do whatever they want to do, and they think they can bully us. This government is so corrupted. This has been the biggest circus of people that took office that I have ever seen in my whole entire life. I mean, we clearly have seen Biden up there with mask on. Whoever that person is portraying to be Biden. Remember the teaching I gave when Jesus said, stop looking at the left hand because the right hand's doing something totally different. Well, there you go, people. I mean, there's so many times that things have been said on there that, is it true or not? I have no idea. I really don't. What is, it's nothing's black and white. You know, this whole total eclipse, I got a couple of emails, people asking me, Nelson, do you think this is the darkness that came after? No, I don't think this is the 3 days of darkness that people are talking about, because that was total shutdown. You know, for what I'm reading, and it goes way back. I mean, I went back a few years when somebody else originally spoke about this 3 days of darkness. But here's my thing. There's nothing wrong with preparing for something if it is truth. Okay? We have been preparing We got black curtains to put up over the windows in case it happens. If it's truly from God, we're going to know. We're going to know. Jesus will not let us go into harm's way. He's our shepherd. So stop worrying about this nonsense. When it comes, we'll be ready. I think instead of worrying about this total darkness crap, we should be worried about if Jesus is coming, if he's coming today, are we ready? We worry. I mean, I hear people say, well, if my kid's sick, I'm going to worry about that. Right, I understand. But worrying isn't going to change it. You can worry yourself into an ulcer. You can worry yourself into a stroke. Where'd that get you? Instead, get on your knees and start praying. Ask for God's will. See, sometimes you want to know why people, when we pray something, we have to ask for God's will and leave it at that. Because that person may not be a follower yet, and this sickness may be the very thing that is going to bring them to God and bring them to follow Jesus Christ. But yet, we got to be willing to step up and be a disciple. We got to be willing to step up and be that mentor. If not, look what happened to Jesus. He went right into the wilderness for 40 days. In that 40 days, the devil came, we know of at least 3 times. Because the Bible speaks 3 different occasions. But what does it say at the end? He will go until an appropriate time to come back. Well, he never had appropriate time to come back because Jesus never gave him one. But we do. We do. Sometimes I think the truth is right there in front of you and you just don't want to believe it. Many people just go on and say, well, my life sucks. Well, your life sucks, that's great. Let's just put more power to your words. So your life's going to suck even more. There's problems in everybody's life. This transgender garbage, I'm so sick of listening about this stuff. I mean, I'm so sick of listening about this triangle, accept my pronouns, these are them. I don't care. Here's my pronouns. I don't care. Stop shoving it down my throat. Stop trying to force me to accept something I don't have to accept. If it doesn't go by the Bible, I don't accept it. I don't accept the devil's ways. And it don't take me long to figure out a devil. Some people ask me, why do you talk to such people? Who are you to question anything? Did not Jesus sit? What did the Pharisees say? See, there's some very important things in the Bible that we overlook. What did they say? He sits with tax collectors and thieves and blah, 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 blah. I do until Jesus tells me to stop. But you know what's amazing? Here's what's amazing. I don't know how many times I felt like I was going to stop posting videos. And all of a sudden, when I'm thinking this and I'm praying about it, I get quick responses on here. You're helping me. Thank you. And go and several on different comments. But the amazing thing about it is Jesus is working. And so many people don't understand how Jesus is working through you. You know why we don't hear a lot about these things? Because there's no testimonies anymore. Testimonies are few in between. Churches stopped doing testimonies. Even when you were to get up there and do a testimony, how many people look at you like you've got antennas growing out your head? Because they're in disbelief. They don't want to hear about it. Well, what's the truth? Some people's truth, people can't handle. Some people's truth that they come and bring it to you, they can't handle it. But yet these Christians claim to be Christians. That's what it floors me. I'm like, wait a minute, let's just back up a second. You are the biggest bunch of hypocrites I've ever seen. I could walk in there and hold the Bible up and say, do you believe every word of this Bible? Yes. Do you believe that you're following Christ as best as you can? When I say as best as you can, because you have to expect you're going to have a stumble here and there. The object is not to do that. But let's face it, people. It happens. It happens to the best of us. But my thing is this. Why? Why does it have to happen? Because we go into disbelief. We go into that realm of the devil that he tries to make everything seem happy-go-lucky on his end. He's nothing but a deceiver and a liar. He wants to destroy your life, and when he gets you wrapped in there, I was just talking to a guy yesterday, and we were talking about a lot of different things, and one of the interesting things is what I like to tell people: if the devil's not knocking at your door, then you're not doing nothing. And doing nothing is the same as the parables in there where it talks about the master gave the coins to one, coins to another, and one coin to one. And the one slave was fearful, so he went and buried it and took it back to him, and it accomplished nothing. See, sometimes we are going to fail. But it's okay, because we learn through that failure. You think, you should. I mean, I sat on here and confessed to so many things, and like I've said, I used to think, no, I didn't break all God's commandments. And the more I start thinking about all the commandments, and I start thinking about it, going, yeah, actually I have. Doesn't make it right. And I know for anybody that's just tuning into this video for the first time and hasn't been on this channel before, the question here's the main thing. I physically never killed somebody. I've come close to it. But by the good grace of God, it was stopped. The couple times that it happened. I kill people with my words, people. Words are the most powerful thing because it'll haunt you for the rest of your life. People believe and see whatever they want to see, but they don't want to stand and listen to the truth. That's why they don't confront you. I don't have a place in my life anymore for nonsense. I've grown tired of it, and I'm very, very sick of it. So, let's just keep going down this road here. The eclipse, was it the 3 days of darkness? No. Did I speak through there? We were going to have darkness after it? Yes. Are we not having darkness? Are we not seeing this evil pop out of it? I mean, man, the last few days just driving down the road, I've seen more people standing talking to themselves, or are they? I seen a girl Tuesday. I went to the house because I forgot to get some stuff out for Darlene that I ordered, and she been patiently waiting. And I was like, I was going to give it to her, but there's one thing in there I didn't want to open, and she was to see it. Because let's face it, the longer you've been with someone, the harder it does get to buy for people. And it's not about gifts. It's about all year round, people, to show your appreciation. To show appreciation, it's daily. I've never seen the purpose of running out and buying a card, and I was so glad when we decided not to buy a card anymore for each other, because first of all, it's just a waste of money, because those words mean nothing if I don't show it. I love you means nothing if I don't show it. People could call me fake. They could call me whatever they want. They can call me a false prophet. They can call me a fake teacher. I've heard it all over the time that I've been doing these videos. But I tell you what is fake? Fake is somebody that does something for a short time and stops doing it. Today, from the very beginning, when I started dating Darlene, I've always opened that car door for her. I don't care if she gets in the car before me, I still will go over and open that door and shut it. No matter how I'm feeling in the day. Because that's respect, and that is showing appreciation. I appreciate her as a person and as a woman. Now, do we have little confrontations back and forth? Sometimes. But what it is what it is. Like if it's at the pantry, sometimes things go back and forth with words under misunderstanding. Or if I was in the beginning of saying something, there's too many people that constantly, yesterday I literally had to walk outside and get in the truck and just sit there for a few minutes and clear my head because I was losing my mind. There's no way I could sit in there 4 days a week and do that. It's unbelievable. That's why God didn't call me to do it 4 days a week. But patience. You gotta have patience. You gotta be able to just stand still and just let everybody cut you off and just stand there, and then if you get a chance to go back to do it. But if you're going to cut somebody off and speak whatever you're going to speak, and you don't understand what they were going to tell you, and you're still lost, it's your own fault. Because you didn't give them a chance to listen. I mean, you didn't give them a chance to talk, to listen, to understand what they were trying to tell you what to do. It's your own fault. Now, is it fair to that person that you got to go back up and ask them again? No, it's not fair to them. Not at all. See, I've been through this channel with Darlene many times at different pantries, especially in Florida. So, for the most part, I know what she wants. And yesterday, something kind of got a little misunderstood. And I understand, because I was still asking her a question and somebody else spoke up and said, well, we'll just put this over there as an extra and give it out. But I know dang well Darlene wouldn't do that, because of the fact meat right now is becoming kind of short to receive through the pantry. It happens. I tried to tell them this was going to happen. I know Darlene believes, but I speak it so other people can hear it, so they too believe. See, sometimes I think people come to these pantries and because they're foolish with what they're doing. Because here's why I'm saying. I watched a person come in yesterday that had claimed to have 10 people in their family. Now, they claim. I don't know if it's true. I don't really care. That's what they have on record. That's what you get. But when I watch them go out there in their boxes of stuff that they're taking out so they can repack it, and you see all these different... one thing had a church written on the box. And I'm sitting there looking at all this going, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. So my thing is, I'm not naive to the system here. You have to be receiving some kind of government assistance. Because let's face it, health insurance alone and food and stuff, that many people in your household, there's no way you're not getting some kind of government assistance on top of that. So I know, for example, my sister had 7 kids. And I've seen how much food stamps she got. I've seen how much government help she got. So that's never changed. It's still there. So what do you do with all those food stamps? They went into the card, and you think you can't sell those food stamps off because it's on a card, you're sadly mistaken. I've watched my sister do it over and over and over and over. The system sucks. But why? Because we complain about everything. But we do nothing about it. See, God's sole purpose for us to be here is to be out there, because the Lord said, go out there. What did He do? He sent the disciples out there to speak of Him that leads to the Father, and many of us won't do it. Because we're afraid of what's going to take place in our lives. Well, it's already going to happen, people. It's already happening. So either way, what do we care? I don't know where this cop is. Trying to move over to one way or the other, but I don't know if he's in the right lane or the left lane. It hasn't stopped raining. Well, he's in the right lane. And like, you guys are probably like, okay, Nelson. I like to tell you everything. Everything that's going on, I like telling you. You know, I was talking to another guy. He's got a channel, and he was telling me, he goes, I watched some of your videos. I said, did you fall asleep? He started laughing. He said, no. I don't think I could go on there and talk about the stuff like you talk about. I said, listen, I have nothing to hide. I'm not ashamed. I wish a lot of things in my life didn't happen. But if it helps somebody, then how can I be ashamed of it? If it's breaking the devil's chains, I'm glad I had to go through it. We have all had something in our lives that we're not proud of. But it's what we do with it. It gives glory. Every sin we have done, God finds glory in it. Because it's what we do at the end of it. It's how we overcome it and how we make it right. We have to relax sometimes. You know, there is a thing of being in charge of stuff. And you have to show your coolness at all times. Problem is, like at that pantry, some days you get community service people that come in and they're working off their fines, and some of these people are just plain lazy. I mean, plain lazy. And they don't want to do certain stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking, are you kidding me? You're working off a fine, but you wanted a sit-down position where you could just sit there all day and do your hours and walk out of there happy-go-lucky. And then you get some people that are going to these schools that has to put so many hours in of community, of volunteering or whatever, for whatever reason, and they're the same way. Well, I can't stand up very long. My thing is, what kind of job are you getting that you're going to sit down all day? Community service, when I had to do it, I cleaned out trash trucks. Literally sprayed them out with hoses. We had suits and goggles and earplugs and stuff and a face shield, and we literally had to squeegee these things out and scrub them down. You talking about nasty? It was nasty. I didn't get a choice where I had to go. They just sent us. And you had a certain amount of time. You didn't have like people have today. Because there's no room. The jails are full. The prisons are getting full. Chaos is everywhere. You know, it's funny because I've spoke many times that Jesus says, shut your blinds, stop looking out there, stop looking at the news, stop listening to this nonsense. And more I'm starting to hear people say it. So many people follow the news like it's do you really believe what these people are telling you? People, wake up. These people, they'll report anything. And I honestly, if I had to put a number on it, I would say probably 90% of it is hogwash. There's some truth in there, but you got to dig through it. Well, I'm not willing to dig through someone's pile of nonsense to figure out what's true and what's not. You know, we're not even supposed to falsely accuse people. If we don't know, leave it alone. I said that yesterday to somebody. I said, well, I don't know, so I'm not going to falsely accuse somebody. I have my thoughts of who it could be. But let's just face it. You know what falsely accusing does? It puts the wrong person behind bars. It puts the wrong person with people casting stones. You want to know a good example of this? You ever play the game of Clue? I think it was Colonel Mustard with the revolver in the library. Well, it might be with the revolver in the library, but you falsely accused the wrong person when it was Mrs. Scarlett. Just saying. That's what happens when you falsely accuse somebody. Colonel Mustard just went to jail. Why Professor Plum's over there laughing? Because Miss Scarlett got away freely. But Miss Scarlett used Professor Plum to help set up Colonel Mustard. Mr. Green takes off through the library, goes over to the study, through the trap door that you can go around. While somebody was carrying the lead pipe. There's too many what ifs in that situation. But yet we do this daily. We do this daily to people. I've been falsely accused of a lot of horrific things that's not true. But they're the ones got to live with it, not me. Because I really don't care if they're in my life anymore or not. I forgive. But I can't even say I'm sad about it anymore. I mean, honestly. I'm actually at peace for the fact I don't have to listen to all the nonsense that comes with it. Because they're all fake. Out of 8 children, I can't say that one of them is not fake. Even if they claim to follow God. Because if they truly followed God, then things would be a lot different. Tell me what they want me to think I want to hear, but their little tricks doesn't work. It never has worked. They always thought it did, but I'm a step ahead of it. I remember Michael used to tell him all the time, I don't know why you guys are doing this. You know, Dad already knows. I know because I either got in prayer or they would think I was gone and I would come back around and I watched the nonsense going on. But it gets to a point where you just go, whether I'm right for doing what I've done, and just got to a point where I'm just tired of arguing. See, but I could bring up everything in their past and everything they have done. But they're not going to sit there for that. But it's funny how they pick up stones and throw stones knowingly that I proved innocent. So it's amazing. You know, we look at different types of situations. And we look at what's going on in the world. And I'm telling you people, the devil has allowed this to become against skin color and skin color anymore. So many people want to believe the things that they hear. I mean, you look at the whole situation with Justin Bieber coming out and saying what Will Smith and Diddy did to him, made him do to them. It's sickening. But my thing is, you got to put the blame on Justin Bieber here a little bit too, because your music career was worth that to you. And I think the ironic thing about it is how he had Selena Gomez in his life, tossed it away, ends up with another girl that he's miserable with. And she was sick. Now she's better. Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, some of her songs or videos, stuff like that, I mean, let's face it, they're not the best of the best. But hopefully she finds God in there and gets rid of this nonsense. Even if she lost her music career. It's better to lose something But God gave you a second chance at life. What are you going to do with it? Waste it? I did. You know how many second chances God gave me? My gosh, I give up on second chances. I'm about at least 50 chances, if not more. And I'm just 50 on the light end, people. Until he finally woke me up. I don't know. I don't claim to know everything that's going to happen here. I don't claim to know what's going to take place next. I just know what he gives me in prayer. I just know what he gives me. And man, it's Wednesday. Wednesday I stayed home. And I went through some of the tablets. And I was looking for the one about the solar eclipse. I know it's written down in there. But, I mean, you guys have seen the tablets that I pulled out. I mean, my goodness. It's going to take a while to go through some of these. And originally, that's what I was in the goal to do, is just speak about what was on these tablets and just leave it at that, and I wasn't going to do anything else unless the Lord gave me. But then the more I start looking at even stuff inside the truck when I'm pulling something out looking for something, I'm finding another tablet of stuff that I just recently wrote. It's incredible. It's been a journey. Some days we just look at life and go, wow, I've already gone through 20 years. You know, think about, I've been with Darlene now 14 years. Been married 13. And it seems like yesterday. And I mean, it was rocky. But when you're determined to push through something, even a couple years back, I told her on the phone, you got to do what you got to do. Doesn't mean I don't love her. Doesn't mean whatever happens in life, she's the one who had to make that decision when she's going to be at peace. Because, I mean, that's some harsh stuff to come against somebody. But I stand there because I know the truth. It's a one-sided deal. Everything was done behind the scene instead of standing there and confronting. But they were quick to want to know, well, how did that go? What did he say? If you're that curious about it, why don't you come and stand and look me in the face? There's the devil right there, people. Coward. Now, I'm not taking it. I said the devil. There's many devils. There's only one Lucifer. People are going to see Lucifer at his power very soon. Remember, the last 3.5 years, even what he does is not going to be compared to what you're going to go through in hell. You take that one to the bank. think about the people that died and gone to hell right now. You think about this. It's not like their punishment hasn't started. They're already being tortured. Now, if we go on this earth for another 30 years, then you know you still got 7 years after that all this nonsense is going to happen. So there's 37 years. Let's just say they've been dead now into hell. Dead, because you do die there because you're nothing. But you live in heaven. So let's just say, I forget how many years I said, let's just say 5. So now you got 42 years that you've already been tortured. And then you still got eternity. It's never going to end. You're never going to leave. And that's worth whatever the heck you're doing here on this earth. I was listening to a guy, we stopped and got dinner yesterday, and I was listening to these guys talk about Jesus, talk about that. The one guy says, well, let me tell you right now, there is no way. I'm like the guy in the Bible when Jesus told him to go off and sell off everything and give it to the poor and come follow me. He goes, I ain't giving up on my stuff. I ain't giving up on my riches. I'm going to go to heaven, but I ain't doing all that. Awesome. That means you love your stuff more than you love Jesus. I appreciate the stuff Jesus has given. You know, when I open that garage door and I think about looking at that big blue toolbox that sits in my garage, and I go down the basement and I see the stuff that I have, to somebody else it might be junk. It might not be worth anything to them. But you know, it's worth something to me. Because Jesus has restored so much of my life. So much. It's just amazing. You know, some days you get exhausted. Work's work. Days off seem to go too fast. But I'll tell you one thing. I enjoy my life. It's peaceful now. It's quiet. Yeah, there's times I miss around the holidays, you know, the grandkids and stuff like that. But it's okay. It has to be okay because I asked God and I asked Jesus to remove anything out of my life. But I also asked to help me heal from these things. So when you think about a big family, I'm okay. Maybe it's for the best. I think about people when they come back from holidays and they talk about their families coming over. And one guy it was very interesting. He was talking about, he had a sister that passed away, and said that she was always the one that was confrontation. Always had something to say. And he said, this Thanksgiving, the one that passed, he said they all sat there real quiet for a bit, saying they missed her. It's not the same without her there. Isn't that something? something that drove you crazy, you miss. When that person's gone, people, that's it. That's it. You wasted the time because of foolishness that the devil wants. You're too busy looking down the devil's barrels and fearful of it. I'm not fearful of that devil's barrels. I'm fearful of this. If I keep screwing up, I'm going to hell. And let me tell you, I tell people flat out, there is a person on this earth. There is nothing, no possessions, nothing worth going to hell over. That terrifies me. All the things I've seen in the world, that's the thing that terrifies me. Because man can't do nothing to me. They can't. Can't do anything. What if he comes up and puts a gun to your head? Big deal. I've had that happen. Too many times. I'm not afraid of death because I know I will live. What if somebody beats you to death? I know God will give me patience. He'll give me peace. He'll give me comfort. Eventually, you take your last breath. And that's all I would pray for. Please take this from me. I mean, even now, I'm going through what I go through. In days, it's very difficult. I could say out of the days, I spent a lot of days just crying because of the pain. And feeling so helpless. Am I feeling sorry for myself? No. Because that pain makes me rely on Jesus even more. What's in your life today that's keeping you from Him? What are you holding back from? What are you refusing to let go because you want to hold on to it? Family members are going to disappoint you, people. People in your life is going to disappoint you. Heck, your own spouse may disappoint you. But is it worth ruining your life over? Somebody may break up with you tomorrow. And you're going to think it's the end of the world, especially some of you that are in school. That high school or the grade school, these days probably kindergarten. Exaggerating a little bit here, but it seems like it. It's the end of the world. I can't live without this person. Yeah, you can. You might want to start looking up to God and saying thank you. Because that person, you may run into him years later and go, man, I'm so glad I didn't marry that person. I'm telling you. It's crazy. Life is upside down sometimes. But it's how we get through it. Darkness. People, there's darkness everywhere. We don't have to just worry about 3 days of it. We got to worry about what's out there. Any given moment, this can change. Are we going to have major earthquakes coming? Yes. Are we going to have major floods coming? Yes. It's going to strike us, people. It's just, when is it coming? But it doesn't mean you got to be fearful of it. Heck, the rapture's coming. Are you fearful of that? Some of you should be. Because I'm telling you, the last thing you want to be is left behind here. You know, I'm certain of this. God speaks. Well, sometimes I don't understand or know the area. Some of the visions that I've been having lately are horrible. I mean, I had one a couple days ago. People, I'm telling you right now, it's ridiculous. I felt like something's crawling on me. I hate spiders. Every time I feel like something's crawling on me, I think it's a spider. One time that happened, and it actually was this ugly looking thing come out off me. I was like creeped out by it. And then here's the thing. You ever knock a spider off of you and then you wonder where it went? Like one day I was driving to work and this spider come crawling off me, and I knocked it off me, and I'm going, great. All I did is knocked it into the seat next to me. But where did it go? So I was so freaked out by it, a little tiny spider. I pulled off the side of the road at a rest area, and I'm like tearing everything out of my car looking for this stupid spider. I never did find it. But yet the people next to me were probably going, what in the world's this guy doing? Life is full of surprises. You know, sometimes we get used to something, right? Like even at the pantry. Some of the stuff that comes in, it's in different boxes. The box may say one thing, but that's not what's in the box. But then sometimes when you open something, and you know that's in there, and somebody tries to tell you that it's not, it's something else. You know, even sometimes we have to listen to the truth of what God's giving. We may think we know, but sometimes we don't. It's not what we see it as. What in the world is that mess? I wonder why you're traveling at nighttime. I would too. There is no way in the world that could be legal. Especially going that slow. This person is pulling two cars behind them. And they're dragging up the road doing it. I'm telling you people right now, that is And the person in front of them is driving a van, pulling a van, and pulling another van. That cannot be too good right there. That's why I get around them and keep going, because I don't know, man. It's just sometimes you just look at stuff and go, this could turn ugly. Maybe it is illegal. I don't know. I don't see how in the world that could possibly. Whatever. Some things you just gotta cut the bait before you pull it up and it's a shark. And that's a thought that's just not something that I would do right there. Doesn't mean it's not okay. I just wouldn't do it. Especially when you're going to drive on the expressway under 50 miles an hour. Because why? You know, how much time do we truly spend in Jesus' time and present? I've been speaking this for a long time, people. It's got to be the most important thing in our life. Speaking with Jesus and speaking with the Father. Because without it, we're going nowhere. And we're going nowhere fast. It's up to you. So, hopefully this gives you a lot to think about. Gives you a lot to start looking at your lives. And, you know, it's not too late, because it is April. We have showers. Not too late to just go stand there in the rain and just say, all right, Jesus, wash me. Wash me clean. Take everything out of my life and take everything and only put back what you want me to have. How many of you are willing to stand there and do that? But then go a little step further and say, here, I need you to help me with this, though. He will. You just got to be willing to take that step. Are you willing to take the step today? Some of you that are riding that fence, are you willing to just get off the fence and say, Jesus, here I am. I accept you into my life because I'm a sinner. And I confess you as my Savior. And I need you to forgive me of my sins. And I need you to help me with my sins. I need you to teach me how to not do these things no more. Help me change my days. Remove things from my life. It's that easy, people. It's that easy. It's not going to be easy. The devil's going to come after you because you're his investment. He don't want you. He don't care about you. He just wants to destroy you. But are you going to let him do it? That's the question. Question of the day, are you going to let him do it? So that being said, God bless you. Love you. Till the next one.